I actually just played this the other day. I played some of this the other day because they announced this the day before it released.
Oh, good job.
Good job for Tango. Not too long ago, last week at some point, they did an Xbox/Bethesda developer direct.
Oh, good. Starfield.
No Starfield. I'm sorry to tell you.
Elder Scrolls 6.
Also not in that, no.
Alright, so useless already, but continue. Please tell me more.
Okay, certainly. Well, what they did is they showed off some of the games that are going to be coming out in more the 6-month period, rather than the 16-year period, which is probably when we'll see those two games.
That sounds like it'll still be out before Star Citizen, so we're probably on a good date.
You know what? They're doing good progress if that's the case. And hey, with a smaller budget. Anyway, so I wanted to tell you about what the games were that were on that, and what they announced, so that you can get excited or not. First one, though, you might care about, called Minecraft Legends from Mojang.
I've seen a little bit about that, only because it's on the Minecraft launcher. I don't really know what genre it's supposed to be.
The majority of it looks like it's going to be a PvP, like a base building game, where you can attack an enemy base. So you can, player versus player, you build your castles up, and then you reinforce them, and you can go out into the world, you can get different mobs, and then you can have the mobs go and attack your enemy bases.
Kind of looked more like a third isometric.
A little bit, yeah, it's more top-down, which is fine. I mean, you can see more of the world that way. It feels like the kind of thing that they're going to try to use as like an esports kind of title, where you can have different players try to figure out the quickest, most efficient way to build the bases, and then attack your enemies. It feels like it's made for that.
Do you know if they're going to be like timed PvP match things?
I didn't see anything about time. I think that you can be in there as long as you want.
Well, that's weird, because then what I do is I make a clan or a guild and go, hey, we're the Builders Guild of this area, and like, we're gonna just build this giant freaking fortress, and everyone's gonna be over here, and it's gonna be like, we're just gonna have 20 people online at all times. Man the catapults, everybody!
Right. Hey, we gotta take the servers off for periods of time because Alex went and tried to break our game. And
yeah, that's literally, I feel like, what people do. It's like, hey, we're gonna get a group of us together that are all gonna team up.
Right.
We're gonna build a fortress and just keep building more layers to this fortress. And like, you know how castles had the castle, then the outer walls, the inner walls, outer walls, and then the moat, and then another set of walls around the town.
Oh yeah, and there's going to be traps, there's going to be moats and all that stuff, so you can do all of that in the game. They didn't really mention much about like any kind of single-player experience because they were focused very heavily on what they were going to do for the player versus player experience, so I'm going to take it that that is the primary experience they're going for. Everybody was talking about like their strategies. Oh, this is how I build my castle. All of the devs were talking about that. So I'm gonna guess that that's very heavy in what they're promoting, and frankly, it doesn't interest me. I don't usually play games that are like that. I don't do PvP as a general rule, so it doesn't really interest me. But when I was watching it, I kept thinking to myself that this felt like the kind of thing that you would totally see them try to turn into an esport, or more that it could be geared towards Twitch streamers and the like that go on with other Twitch streamers and do like a player versus player, and everybody can come and watch what they do to make wacky things.
I feel like YouTube videos and Twitch streamers maybe, but maybe not an esport.
We'll see.
Everyone's trying to get that esport, hot tub money.
It's the thing about it is those esports competitions do bring in a lot of cash. They mentioned Forza Motorsport. No number after this one.
Didn't they just release 5?
That was Horizon. Forza Horizon. This is just Forza Motorsport.
So this one's just a racing game?
This is just the racing game. Yeah.
Oh, see, the exploration version sounds more fun.
It is. So I don't really care much about it. When they didn't have Horizon in the name, I instantly knew, well, I'm not going to care about this. But at any rate, It's Turn 10 Studios. Some of the highlights that they were talking about for Forza Motorsport is the realistic paint reflection and dirt accumulation on the vehicles, so...
Wow, that's exciting.
I'm very excited. I'm super excited. Like, to their credit, the graphics on it look photorealistic. Like, the cars... If you just showed the cars in the game to, like, your average person, they'd think that they were the real car.
That's great.
That's great.
Good for it. I like my Gran Turismo 7, and the car's looking pretty nice, too. But
Yeah, they certainly do. Yeah, and frankly, when it comes to Forza, if it isn't the Horizon series, I have a tendency not to care that much about it, because Forza Horizon is an awesome series, and if you haven't played it, you should totally check it out. You get to just drive all over the damn countryside and just smash around through brush, and it's much more of an arcade style. What they do with Forza Motorsport is much more about doing a realistic driving simulation. So,
yeah.
Now the next one was Hi-Fi Rush from Tango Gameworks. So this is actually under... Well, good news. I actually just played this the other day. I played some of this the other day because they announced this the day before it released.
Oh, good job.
Good job for Tango. It is a comic book style rhythm game.
I'm interested already.
You're uninterested already. If you wanted to see anything that is impressive about it, from what I could tell immediately upon entering, because it does grab you immediately. The art style is strikingly good for what it is. Like, it's just fascinatingly good. It looks like a living comic book with really fluid animation and really great character design. And the thing that's interesting about it is that the entire world moves to a beat, and the beat is attached to the music that's playing. So, you get into a pattern where all the attacks, including yours, are timed to a beat, and you have to get used to your light and heavy attacks being timed on those beats. You will always attack on the beat, but you get extra damage if you actually do it correctly with the rhythm for your heavy and your light attacks.
So what you're saying is the 4 years of chorus and music theory class I took will come in handy.
It will. It absolutely will. They do go through tutorials where they kind of get you used to the beat structure and how your heavy attacks land.
You just gotta play with a metronome.
There is a little assist at the bottom that you can put on that will show you the beats as they're going through the world. The whole world itself, too, anything that moves basically moves to a timed beat, including platforms that come in and out. I thought it had a lot of potential. At first, I thought that it was going to be like Jet Set Radio Future, and I was very excited. But it's actually like a level-by-level sort of game structure where you get more linear. But the idea behind it of that beat structure and you trying to be like this aspiring rock star who ends up with like an iPod in his chest is kind of neat. And a robot arm and RoboCat. You know, hey, there's good stuff in that. But yeah, no, art style, I was very impressed by. Anyway, they announced that literally the day before and said, yeah, it's coming to Game Pass and going to be available on Steam and everything, like, tonight. So, and it's like, well, that's a fun surprise for everybody.
Good news, everybody. Here it is.
Also, I thought was very interesting is that they had the head of, like, the Tango Gameworks studio, and he was saying that, like, you know, this is going to be a little different than our normal stuff, because you probably associate us with horror games like Evil Within or Ghostwire Tokyo, which is what they usually make, and it's like, yeah, this is not that. This is very, very different. So good for them, getting out of their comfort zone. Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, yes, yep.
Is a game that already exists.
New expansion for it, I think.
Yes. So ZeniMax announced that there is the Necrom update.
Oh boy, necromancers.
Yeah, there's the Arcanist class that's coming into it, so you get, like, arcane magic and all of that, and this one is going to be taking place in a new area for ESO. It's going to be the Telvanni province of Eastern Morrowind, because we always want more Morrowind involved in this.
It's true.
Yes, you certainly do. There was a discussion that they were talking about having, like, all of the updates playable for a little while for new players. So that's probably good because there's been like 20 content updates, and there's a ton of different areas for you to explore. I played a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online many years ago. I think I was impressed with the size and scope of it, but it wasn't the Elder Scrolls experience that I wanted, so I didn't keep playing.
I don't know if I've tried Elder Scrolls Online. I tried Final Fantasy XIV Online for a little bit.
Yeah.
Couldn't get into it.
You know, it's not bad, and I'm sure that since I played it, it's gotten better. I think that the one thing that I really missed is that, for me, Elder Scrolls is such a good single-player experience, where it really feels like the stuff that you do in the world matters, and what happens with an MMO is that it can't, like, that's always been a problem with anything that's like an online experience, is that they have to have some level of static nature to the world so that everyone can experience it.
Yeah.
They did do a little bit of work on that. There are some areas where you can make choices and it will be different for you than it would be for somebody else that made different choices, but
yeah,
still wasn't really that experience. But anytime you can go back to Morrowind, that does pique my interest a little bit. Finally, from Arcane Austin, which immediately gets my ears perked up, is Redfall. And Redfall is going to be a mission-based vampire shooting game, and it's going to be in the same vein as their other games like Dishonored or Prey, which is to say they're going to be like those immersive sim, that kind of thing, where you can go through different missions in a variety of different ways, and you can address situations in different ways, and there's a bunch of vampires that are trying to kill you.
Is that one cel-shaded?
No, this one is not cel-shaded.
I think I've seen that. It's the one that has like the kooky cast of characters.
There is a kooky cast of characters.
Okay. I think I've seen something about that one.
Yeah, the one gameplay thing that they showed off is one of the characters that has like a little robo-dog that they can use to distract some of the vampires in one of the levels. But there's going to be main missions and sub-missions, and you can play either single player or you can play with up to, like, I think a 4-player multiplayer experience. So can't tell you that it's quite as exciting as some of the other things I've seen from Arcane, but I've usually been impressed with their stuff. I don't know if you've played any of their titles before. If you ever get around to playing Prey, because I think that was free on Epic at one point, the new one was Arcane.
Gotcha.
They did the whole Dishonored series, and then they also did Deathloop more recently, which I tried. And if there was anything that was going to make me a little wary to do Redfall, it was probably trying to play Deathloop. So, yeah. Anyway, but Redfall looks interesting. I'll try it when it comes out, but that's not till May. That was their developer direct. Just going over those.
Pretty uneventful, honestly.
For most people that we usually talk to, like for the kind of games that we enjoy, there's not a ton of meat on the bones there. But I can tell you that I think some people are going to be very impressed with Hi-Fi Rush, and Redfall is the kind of game that I will probably play when it comes out. So, you know, there was something for everybody. If you like racing games, if you like Minecraft for reasons, if you, you know, there's something in there for everybody to enjoy. But I guess I would be interested to know, anyone who's listening, if any one of those titles made you intrigued, or if you had a preference, something that made you excited from that direct, or if it seemed like a really bad idea. And also if you like the format,